What's going on, everybody? What's going on? This your boy Doc Holiday. It is Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to everybody. And we are back. Had a 2 day hiatus. Got to rest up. Make sure that we are in a good spot, in a good space for today's show. But if you haven't done it by now, what's going on, man? If you haven't done it by now, make sure you like the stream, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. Um, Trying to get this thing up to 700, man. And we literally just keeping up, keeping on moving. But y'all know how we do it. Get that going right now. And Tuesday night review. Usually I would have some on Monday night, but man, look, I've been a good friend of ours. I've been basically just going all from here to there. Um, Trying to figure out what's going, trying to figure out what's up, what's going on. Um, get a thing going on, but trying to put together this little slide. Um, as far as what trying to get this little thing going on with the slides and stuff like that. So we kind of get into this review. Um, so try to get this review going on, and get that going. But like I said, man, if y'all haven't done it by now, make sure that you like, comment, share the stream, subscribe to the channel, become a member of the hottest HBCU podcast that's out right now. And man, also make sure you hit that notification bell to get everything HBCU Overdrive. So I'm just kind of going through, man, trying not to go through the motions. But yeah, man, we trying to figure out what's going on. Um, so hopefully everybody's gonna have a good Thanksgiving, and I will be doing a thing for the Bayou Classic. More likely it'll be on Friday because I ain't doing nothing on Thursday. I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to get fat. I'm trying to get full. I'm not bothering there. I'm not trying to play around this year, but trying to get this all going on. Trying to get this all going on. But like I said, what's going on? No Slack, man. Trying to get this slideshow going on right here. Man, I don't know what's up. Trying to figure out what's up with my camera stuff, y'all. I've been having technical difficulty for the last couple of weeks. Couple of days with this thing. But yeah, man, we are here, man. First of all, we gonna celebrate. We gonna say congratulations to. Gonna say congratulations to the Jackson State Tigers going 11-0 for the regular season. First time it has been done in school history. With a historic defense. Well, we have a historic defense. Offense played, what I'm saying. I was gonna say decent. We played lights out in the beginning, but get on down the line. We played decent. We played basically just to try to make sure that we could get over, and we basically relied on the defense. But let's shout out to Coach Prime within his 2 years, 2.5 years, year and a half, it put just like that, being at Jackson State. he has went 26-5 in his first 30 games. First 30 games, 31 games, y'all. 26-5. I don't even think the legendary WC Gordon had teams like that. Just like that. Like on the real. And I'm not, I love Mr. Gordon. I love Coach Gordon and everything when I was at school. But I don't think he had a team like this that was this, this dominant. You know what I'm saying? Um, like in fact, the first 3 years, I don't even think he had a team the first 3 years or 2 years that was this dominant. And I realized Coach Prime he took over a team that was historically bad. Took it over from Coach Hendricks and I'm not gonna poo-poo on Coach Hendricks because he was dealt a bad hand. But he did what he tried to do. They didn't bring him back. And you know, Coach Prime did he did what he had to do. Ashley Robinson, I'm gonna take that back. Ashley Robinson made the jump happen. Did what he did. We got Coach Prime in here. What he did, he evaluated what he saw from 2019, 2020. He took that back. He's like, look, there's some kids I'm gonna keep with me, but the rest of them got to go because he's all about bringing a winning combination, a winning champion. You know what I'm saying? Winning championship. But I'm gonna open up the stream right now. I understand it's kind of early, but I'm gonna open up the stream. It's gonna be fairly long today. Gonna be probably about an hour, no more than an hour today. But other than that, man, look, um, he did what he did, man. We went 11-2. We went 4-3 in that spring season. He did his evaluation. He got his people in. Then we turned around and went 11-2 in his first real season. Because I'm gonna call last season his real season, his first real season. Only losses was to ULM and to South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl. I'll get my guy Brian in here. What's going on, man? Long
How you
time
doing,
no
my
see.
brother?
I'm good,
Yeah,
man.
but
I'm
you
good.
know, you know, you know how it is. Back to work at the retail. It's just been crazy as heck. Uh,
Oh yeah.
just grind, man. It's just like the bringing people up the woodwork. Our days have been really busy. I work from Thursday to Monday. I'm off Tuesday. Like I'm off Tuesday and Wednesday. So I'm
Okay.
at Costco. So we're always busy.
So yeah, I was just talking about the historic, 31 games in Coach Prime is 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 26-5.
Yeah,
26-5.
and Shador
And
never.
like I said, you lost 2 games last season to Louisiana Monroe and to South Carolina State in Celebration Bowl. Uh, we had a we had a uh do or die type defense last season, and our offense, other than the offensive line, the rest of the offense was great. Offensive line was poo poo. Didn't have a running game like that, but like I said, he had to do what he had to do. Then he come into this season, upgraded the offensive line, upgraded every running back. Basically, almost kept down there the same type of receivers that we had last season. Uh, it brought in a little bit more pieces, a little bit more firepower. Utilized the tight end more. We thought we were gonna panic when James Houston and Antoine Owens and Miller and Cornish Miller all left, but we picked up. This team picked up the slack basically, and Gaddy and
Reagan,
um,
Brown.
Reagan, Brown, of course Aubrey. You know what I'm saying, because he is the heart and soul of the defense.
Davis.
Mercier, Jarrett Davis, uh, you know, even when he was in and out of the lineup, uh, Nugget, Kevin Wiggins, like we just had, we that piece of the defense, like is, you know what I'm saying, it has evolved. I think we somebody told me when I was at work, I said we was talking about the game. He's like, man, look, I think we are at our defense is at our final form. And I said, no, not yet, because we still got things. We got business to take care of. We got 2 games left. We got one. We got 2 games left, but we're gonna take one game at a time because hey, we're not gonna try to look ahead. That's the whole thing.
Can't afford to.
But we're gonna go ahead and get to um the first thing. First thing first. And what I'm about to do, I put together a little slideshow. You know, put together a little slideshow. When everyone's slowed
Uh,
up,
oh, nice.
um,
You've been working.
so yeah, I've been trying to work. All right, this okay. This is the first game I want to get on right here, y'all. Prairie View versus Valley. Prairie View, you had one job to do. All you had to do was just beat Valley. Even though I said, even though I said Valley was going to win, I said that
Yeah.
Valley was going to win because it seemed like Prairie View packs it in after they feel like they get into the driver's seat and try to get to the championship. They packed it in, and then they play Valley at the end of the year, and Valley puts a, give them the of the lifetime, you know. So all you had to do this season, PV, was beat Valley. That's it. Only thing is, you went to Valley, you went up to Itabena. First of all, you played on that field, even though the field was a little bit more better than what it was, than what it used to be look like in previous times. You, the field was still the 12th man for the team. We talking about a Valley team that didn't play with Caleb Johnson on Saturday afternoon. They didn't play with Jabari Jones because I don't know if he was injured or he was hurt. I mean, he was hurt or he was suspended. All I know is you had old man Jelani Eason playing quarterback. You had the backup running back playing, but that damn defensive line was getting after your tail the whole game. Trayshawn Conley, I'm sorry, sir. You are an athlete playing quarterback. You might as well go ahead and move to a receiver next year. You want to go to the league, move to receiver. But Prairie View had the lead from in the first half. First half was 7-0.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in the second half. I don't know if the defense decided they want to take a damn nap or they ate something, got the itis at halftime. But ain't no way you let Mississippi Valley State score 27 points straight on you in the second half. You don't score not one time in the second half, and you let the game go. Like you are still primed to be in the driver's seat to get to the SWAC championship game. Other than that, all you have to do is just beat Valley. You couldn't even do that. You had one job. In fact, I'm gonna change this banner. I'm gonna change this banner. Yeah, you had one job. Your job was to beat. It was to win. That's all you had to do. You win. Nothing else matters because you got other than you got the one tiebreaker against Texas Southern, and that's who we're gonna segue into after that. You Alcorn basically got eliminated because they lost to Jackson State. Southern was gonna get eliminated unless they play if they won against Grambling, then they have to go through with the tiebreaker system right there, in which points to differentials and stuff like that. Prep, you would have won. All right, that's
It,
all
it
you had to do. That's it.
the thing that's going on is like all they had to do, like you have written up, they had one job to do. They win and they're in. They go play against a one and whatever team, but we know Valley, with Coach Dancy, they're not going to quit. They're going to play the whole 60 minutes. And PV, it just seems like over the last couple of weeks they've just been like they don't want to play the championship game. Like they don't want to play Jackson State because they know who their base were going to play. So they didn't want to play Jackson State because all they had to do was go to Inabina, beat, what I mean, beat Valley, and they're in, and they can't even do that. So they don't deserve to be in. Like I have Grambling beating Southern next week. You know what I mean? I said I've been saying that for about a month, and Grambling's playing better, but we'll get to those games later. But uh, I wasn't shocked. You know what I mean? I know that you had picked Valley too, but I wasn't shocked to hear that PV lost. It wasn't like, oh crap,
I,
you know.
I just I just had a feeling. I had this feeling on Thursday. I told the wife, I said, Prairie View gonna lose against Valley. She's like, no, not. No, they not. I said, no, Prairie View gonna lose against Valley. It happened last season. She's like, that was last season. I was like, for some reason, I'm just telling you, Prairie View was going to lose the Valley again.
Yeah.
And what happened? They lost. And I'm gonna give a shout out to Ronnie Thomas for Valley. That brother right there is an NFL player right now on that defensive line. Oh my god, man! One play. I don't know. I kind of scanned in on the playing areas on defense. I feel like he hip tossed the tackle to the side to get to try to put the pressure on Conley.
Mm.
I'm looking at. I was like, oh my god! Like he just destroyed that left tackle, man. Like destroy. Like I mean, destroy him. And I'm like, you know what? Book him to the NFL draft. I know he's gonna get some some postseason
Invites.
honors. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Some invites too, man. So hey, shout out to him, dog. I'm gonna shout out to him. So we gonna segue into the next one right here. Like I said, you had one
That's
job.
one
One
job.
job, Mr. Southern. One job. You had one job to do was to win. And if you don't get it, and I feel like this, if you didn't get into the championship game, at least you win so you can have an actually winning season because you haven't had that since 2010.
And if they would have won, they would have been in.
You would have won, and yep. I'm gonna tell you just like that, Brian. If they would have won, because I think they heard the fact that Prairie View did lose. If they would have won, they was automatically into the championship game. Then you would have seen the matchup between Andrew Body versus Shador Sanders again. So the thing about this is too. Let me turn down my lighting. So the thing about this is right here. You're up 20-3 going into the fourth quarter. You're up 20-3. You're up 20-3 going into the fourth quarter. All you had to do was just score two more touchdowns. You put the game away. The problem with Texas Southern this season is when they do get a lead, they get comfortable, they get complacent where they try to add on to the lead. And when they don't add on to the lead, then you got stuff like this that's come around. Alabama A&M scored 21 straight in the fourth quarter. And then I think I heard that Andrew did get hurt in the game.
Did he get a separated shoulder or
He had
something?
a separated shoulder. Now, all the backup had to do is just go with the game plan. Go with the game plan. Go with the game plan. First
Manage
of all,
the game.
manage the game. Second of all you gotta do if you're gonna throw the ball, because A&M's defense, their DBs is straight garbage. You got a speedster in Derek Morton. Don't know why you didn't use him late in the game. My thing is, all you had to do is manage the game. You win. Though it scores 21 straight. 21 straight to end the game. Now you end the season with a 5-6 record. You end the season with a 5-6 record. You question. I'm questioning if your coach is going to come back. If your coach is going to come back for next season, what do you think as far as your take on the game, though, Brian?
You know, the way they played Jackson State, you know what I mean? Even though they lost to Jackson State, they played well. You know what I mean? They played well. You've seen a lot of promising, potential on that team. I think they're still a young team, obviously, but to go and give up 21 points where you're having an opportunity to play in the championship game, man, that's just a total collapse. It's a calamity.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know what I mean. I don't know what time of the game that Andrew Body got hurt. You know what I mean. That'd be a different story. But even still, if you're up in the game. You got one quarter to go. We know it's 4 quarters. You play to the
Yeah.
last whistle. You know what I mean. We know all this, but you know, did they hit the panic button? You know what I mean? When the team got scoring and did it fall totally out of control? But that has to do with coaching. That has to do a lot of times. What it has to do is it's a simple fact is you're not comfortable being ahead. You know what I mean? You don't have that championship DNA that
Right.
somebody can say, "Hey, listen, no big deal." Like we'll talk later on about the other games, but this just goes to show you how leadership is such a vital cog, and from coaching to quarterback to defensive player, lineman, whatever, like linebackers, usually the captains or safeties. That, you know what I mean? Somebody to grab the bull by the horn and say, "Hey guys, let's just play our game." You know what I mean? And let's just play it out. And it seems like they just failed on that aspect. I was shocked. I tell you what, I was.
Now my whole
You know
thing
what?
is as far.
I wanted Southern to win. I mean, TSU to win.
Mm-hmm. So now my whole thing is what is going to go, like you said, it goes back to the coaching. I'm questioning the coaching. Uh, if I'm the athletic director and I'm looking at your record since 2010, and after 2010, lose the season. You had 11 straight losing seasons before you get to this season, and you had a chance to win to cap off this season with a winning record, and not just with a winning record. You could have capped it off with winning the SWAC West. But I'm looking at my coaches, and I'm like, how do we turn this around?
But here's the question, though, Doc. If you let him go, and you bring in a new coach, Andrew Body's going to be a junior next year. To learn a new
Mm-hmm.
system and everything like that, that takes time. You know what I mean? To be, yes,
Yep.
you can learn a new system during the course of the year, like Shador's learning this year, but you see, there's still troubles in doing that. You know what I mean? Continuity is a big part of it, right? Between
Right.
new coach, OC, and stuff like that. So I would almost give him next year, and if they don't improve dramatically, then he's got to go.
But see, my whole thing with what you said with Shador, yeah, I realized too. Last season, Shador had 3 offensive coordinators.
And really, even though he played well, he could have obviously we've seen the difference in the coordinators as far as the changing and stuff like that, where he wasn't effective when he needed to be at the end of the year, and and hope and I see this year too. His last couple of games, Shador hasn't played well at all. You know what I mean? He seemed like he was reverting back to its old Shador as far as holding the ball. You know what I mean? We'll get onto that Jackson game, so I'll save some of this for later on.
Yeah. So my other one I was it was at the beginning of the slide, not them, right here. We gonna jump to the MEAC, y'all. North Carolina A&T. It is my boy Dave from the Panther Nation podcast is listening, and I know he's listening or he's watching, but he'll tell you. Y'all had one job to do in the MEAC. You had one, not the MEAC, in the Big South. You had one job to do in the Big South. That is that was to beat Gardner Webb and punch your ticket to the FCS playoffs. You had okay. I'm gonna tell you like this. I watched a little bit of this game right here. I watched most of the game, right, primarily most of the game right here. When you jumped out. I think you was up 7-3. Um, Gardner Webb, you Gardner Webb made you turn the ball over. They caused a turnover, and I think you had to punt. You went 3 and out, punt. They jumped on you. They jumped 2 touchdowns on you. So it's 17-7. All right. Then basically you scored another touchdown. Bashu, hey, I'm gonna be real with you. Bashu Tootin, that's a dog right there. He is a dog. Um, but it seemed like after Tootin scores his touchdown, the floodgates open with all the mistakes that you made in the game, and Gardner Webb capitalized on every bit of it. It seemed like they wanted it more than you did. And don't get me wrong, you had one hell of a season this year. You lose to your you lose to your rival down the road uh, in North Carolina Central. That was the first game. You turn around, you go all the way up to Fargo, in which this game should have been. This game was supposed to have been played in 2019, and they robbed it. They robbed us of it. COVID robbed us of it to get play against North Dakota State. They basically put the 40 piece on you, 40-piece bison tenders. You know what I'm saying? And then you play Duke, and they beat you down almost by 30. And then you turn around, you go into you turn around your season, and basically you had one of the most memorable runs, other than what y'all did going in your MEAC days, going to the Celebration Bowl. The way that y'all ran the table and could have ran the table. um was memorable. You beat Campbell by, I think they beat him by a touchdown on your at your homecoming, in which I already said. I told people Campbell is not the team that everybody thought they were. Yeah, Jason. No, they are our worst nightmare. We ain't worried about them. In fact, North Dakota State might not even make it past the third round of the playoffs. But um, anyway, him made me lose my damn train of thought with that damn question.
You were saying about
You
talking
gotta, hey
about
man, you gotta pay.
A&T.
You gotta pay me to troll, bro. Come on now. uh, but like like I said, it, y'all had the recipe to get to the playoffs. You didn't take advantage of it, and you know what I'm saying. That's it. That was it. It seemed like GW wanted it more than y'all did. They wanted it bad. They wanted it better than y'all did. And now they win the conference, they go to the playoffs, and y'all don't even get an at-large bid because you're only a 16 conference.
Yeah, Garner Webb ran the ball on them pretty well. See, you know what I mean? Just looking at
Always
the
so
statistics,
well,
they,
man.
yeah,
And they
you know,
quarterback, he's a dog. That quarterback, he's a dog too. Cause that man, that kid has a arm. Um, yeah. Um, Tennessee State didn't fail. They barely beat Texas A&M Commerce here in East Texas, and yeah, like Eddie George gonna have to really go back to the drawing board. But for
he's got to
A&T,
come up with better. He's got to like he's been doing a decent job recruiting. He had a decent year last year. This year is a telltale sign for him as far as really getting maybe into the portal and getting a and continuing to not drafting, but recruiting high school kids. But he really has to, because they got a good defense. Their defense played well. Their defense played well. You know, the quarterback, if he
oh
doesn't
my
get
God,
injured, it seems like he's injured every other week. But he has to, you know what I mean? Just he has to get depth. He has to get depth.
yep. Um, and so what we're gonna have to do. You see it. Yeah, one job. FAMU. All you have to do. And you did. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm gonna take off this banner. I'm gonna take this banner
Yeah,
off right here
yeah. Because
because
FAMU did what they were supposed to do. They did what they're supposed
FAMU
to
did
do.
what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
They did what
you
they're
know,
supposed to do. Now,
not
now,
not being selected is a
go ahead.
tragedy. Not being selected was a tragedy. They
It's
did what they were supposed to do, you know. And Willie Simmons came with receipts. I was watching the coach's press conference. Willie Simmons came with receipts, so they can say what this. So strength of schedule, strength of schedule. You know, how could you have? You know what I mean? I love Jackson State, but you have Jackson State ranked number 5 in the conference, and then people say their strength of schedule, but FAMU basically play the same. Schedule as JSU, just losing at JSU. So they have one loss in the SWAC. Other than that, they
Yep,
ran through the SWAC, and they can't get a
yep.
bid.
So what the word on the street was, and I know we was all on Blues channel because I kind of segue everybody to go to Blue because I figured I knew if I was gonna put the playoff selection bracket on there, ooh, it's gonna be live and popping on the show. But I had to give me some rest because I had to watch football on Sunday. But um the thing about this is you start off the season playing North Carolina. And before you even get to North Carolina, before you get to North Carolina, you you basically had issues with players being ineligible because of certifications, right? So some kids not being in the right classes, like example Isaiah Land. He's supposed to take one class. Somebody told him to take another class so he could stay eligible, which is cool. That's cool, but it didn't. That class didn't go towards his graduation requirement. So now he's ineligible because of the simple fact that he took a class to try to stay eligible so he can play. It didn't go towards his graduation requirement, and he had to sit out the first game. Now, the game they played against North Carolina, we all, we was all on here. We talked about it. We said they played a masterful game, even though they lost it in the second half. Uh, the game wasn't like the game really wasn't too much of a blowout or anything like that because of the fact that I don't feel like North Carolina played their, up to, what I'm saying. I don't think North Carolina played up to played up to their standard, like Mac Brown standard. It ain't, it was probably like right here, and Mac Brown standard is like way up here. They didn't play that to that Mac Brown standard right there. So we see when they play North Carolina. Then you go into the Jackson State game. Now, here's the thing about this: you're scrambling and you're rushing and you're trying to get all the majority of your kids eligible so they can play. Then you still had some key players that was out, so they still mess with your depth, right? You get to Miami, you play Jackson, you get the 59 piece put on you. You know what I'm saying? Like lemon pepper, honey barbecue, Hawaiian. You know what I'm saying? Uh, 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 the garlic. Like you got all the flavors put on you. You know what I'm saying? So you did what you did. I mean, we knew you were going. We people knew you were going to lose the first two games of the season. Now, if it was from last season and you ended up losing to Jackson by 1 or by 3, it'd be a whole different story. It will be a whole different story. But losing to them by 59, by 56, it messed everything up. Third of all, your third game of the season, you play Albany State. Understandably so. Yes, you're to help the D2 school, but that D2 school is not helping you because now while you're on a hope and a wish, you hoping and wishing and you praying that Jackson will lose to somebody in the division. That way you're going to be bumped up. No, it don't. It doesn't. It didn't happen like that. You struggle playing against Albany State. Albany State does have a good defense. You still struggle. You won by 10. Every other game that you played this season, it was not dominant. You had to you literally had to down there go back, you know what I'm saying, play 1983 Oklahoma or Nebraska football where you just blow everybody out by 60 points and stuff.
But even still, if they're blowing people up, well, they would have got a bid. You know what I mean? It just seemed like there's a bias against HBCUs going to this tournament. It just seems that way. And the thing is,
Now,
um, at the beginning of the year, yeah, they played North Carolina, but they put up points against North Carolina. You know what I mean? They put up more
they put
points
up points.
against an
I'm
FBS
not,
team than they did an FCS team in Jackson State. And then after, you know what, like you said, it was it's well documented with everything that was going on. with the compliance officer because they only had one. Uh, you know what I mean? So that the whole program was a disarray. So I really got to give Coach Simmons,
I'll give
tip
Coach
my
Simmons
hat
his
to them.
props.
Yeah, because the
Give him his props.
holding everything together and to come back and win 9 straight games. You know what? That's a good feat. That's a great season. It's a great recruiting tool for them also. But the thing is, uh, that FCS, that whole playoff system. Like I said, you guys are more in depth of it and more knowledgeable than I am. But the thing is,
That would be
uh,
Blue. Blue is more
yeah,
knowledgeable. I
yeah,
kind of feed off him.
yeah, and yeah, and 100%. But it just seems like that system is out. It should be updated because it seemed like it's outdated.
I feel you. I feel you on that. Yeah. So when I'm looking at it, and me and Blue, we was talking. Everybody talked about it. Like to get 5 colonial teams into the playoff system, and to have FAMU as your first four out. Not even to get a Delaware in because they beat um such team, but they lost to such team is crazy. And all FAMU did was after that 0-2 start, they went 9 straight. Tell me, tell me what team, tell me what team has went lost 2 in a row, 3 years in a row. And I'm gonna tell you like this: before they even came into the SWAC, when they was in the MEAC, they did the same thing like that the year in the MEAC when they was supposed to go to the Celebration Bowl, but they was on probation because of the APR issue. But they did this three. They went 92 3 years in a row. Last year they went 0-2 and went on a 9 game winning streak. And did the same thing. They did the same thing this year. They started 0-2 and went on a 9 game winning streak. And
Let
you
me
mean
ask
to
you a
tell
question,
me,
Doc.
yeah,
Let me ask you a question. Would it be out? Am I just have just a pipe dream up the realm of possibility if they revamped it and have the two and for FBS playoffs only, the two best, and like North Dakota in their division, and have two best in the SWAC, the two best in the MEAC, and have some kind of like playoff pool? Would that create more excitement?
it might. It might. But see, the thing
Would
is, they, and Mr. Campbell would tell you, if Mr. Campbell's on here, he'll tell you why the playoffs was started. It was to give those small schools a chance, but to win something at a national title, but it was to separate them from the big schools from what we call the Power Five now. Um, what we call the Power Five, to where they look at us inferior. That's why you don't see no more. That's why you don't see a school like let's say for example here in Texas in Dallas, SMU would go all the way to like Stephen F. Austin. You don't see them playing at their home field. You see the FCS school go to the FBS school's home field. You don't see nothing like that. We don't see like it. Just look at the there. You just look at the parity. There's no parity whatsoever. Um. Also, let's see. And another person I'm gonna ask too is Stan Beckton. We he comes on to on our Twitter Spaces on Wednesday night, so he can kind of further explain to us because he writes for the NCAA.com. He can further kind of go into like ask we can ask questions and be like why such and such got in or what's the reason for 5 CAA schools to get in and stuff like that. So it's crazy because you got an Elon, you got an Idaho team like literally from the Big Sky. I wouldn't even put Idaho in there. I wouldn't even put Montana in there. I wouldn't even put Delaware into the playoffs. Like you left out some good schools that could have went to the playoffs. Um, like I said, you could have went in and replaced. What up? What up? What's going on? You could have went in and replaced a Montana school. You know, the University of Montana. Only thing is, if you win, you go play North Dakota State. uh, or you could have took that Idaho team out and had a rematch back from last season with Southeast Louisiana. The thing is, you're gonna go to Birmingham and play Sanford. It would have made it easier for FAMU to play to get picked and play Southeast. Uh, and then it, like I said, if they win, they go play Sanford with in Birmingham. It's not that, you know what I'm saying, a big of a travel deal. But to have Idaho playing, to have well, Elon is a good team. Um, a Richmond, you know what I'm saying? Um, New Hampshire or Delaware, like those teams, I wouldn't even bother in. I wouldn't even put those teams in. But you know what I'm saying? My whole thing is they have to tweak this. They're gonna have to tweak this right here and see what, you know what I'm saying, see what's gonna happen. But it's not gonna be done overnight. You have to go through the NCAA legislators and stuff like that. Dr. Cavill can kind of break all that down. Also, I think he did it on his show a couple of weeks ago. But it's, you know what I'm saying, it it's fair, but it ain't fair. You kind of get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying.
I would just like to
Hopefully,
see I would just like to see the format different, and just to create more excitement and opportunities for HBCUs, for the MEAC, for the SWAC MEAC, the top echelon of FCS, and maybe have an 8 bowl, and have it. Man, I think it would create a lot of excitement, because then
like
you
that,
have an
like
opportunity, instead of like trying to wish Jackson State played North Dakota or South Dakota. It might, so you have it in a playoff format where teams where they would generate revenue like crazy. Major televisions, especially with the prime effect right now, major televisions would get involved, and I just think it would create so much excitement. But like you said, you got to cut through so much probably red tape and bylaws, and you know what I mean, regulators and so on and so forth. So that's yeah, it's just a pipe dream. You know what I mean?
yep. Before we get into that, go and congratulate, go and congratulate the co-champs. And woo, those people from North Carolina Central do not like being called co-champs, being wannabe champs with Howard University.
But they are.
Hey, Howard did it, but they are though. This is something that happens in the MEAC when you only have 6 teams in your conference for football. I
And you have no
mean,
playoff.
you had no playoff. You gave up your playoff. You know what I'm saying? You gave up your automatic bid, just like the SWAC gave up our automatic bid to go to the playoff. Um, it just, you know what I'm saying? It just that it is what it is. Howard did their job. I mean, both of these teams did their job. North Carolina Central, they punched their ticket to the Celebration Bowl last weekend, you know, and then this weekend, all Howard had to do was just beat Morgan State to become co-champs. Because Howard's only loss in conference was to North Carolina Central.
Yeah.
North Carolina Central's only loss in conference was to South Carolina State. Howard destroyed South Carolina State. North Carolina Central destroyed Howard. It is, you know what? It's a whole cluster you know what.
Yeah.
Uh, but Howard did their job. They went up to Morgan. I watched that game also. Went up to Morgan. Quentin Williams played like an actual quarterback on Saturday. Then I turned the ball over through 2 touchdowns, and I think they scored almost every other possession in the game. So, and the defense played lights out because Morgan couldn't score after they got that touchdown. That was it. That was it. 35-6. 35 to
Wow.
6.
That surprised me.
And guess what? They are co-champs. One of our friends on Twitter Space on the HBCU Nightly, Erica Lee, she's gonna hold her pinky up real high and proudly say Howard University co-champs of the MEAC conference. So you know what I'm saying? Congratulations to both schools. Howard, I wish they would have won last week because I feel like they would have won last week. This would be like icing on the cake right here. Not only to be co-champs, but to have an actual winning season, to be above 500. You know, it would be it would be much sweeter if that would have happened right there. But like I said, they have I feel Coach Larry Scott has figured out that they have somewhat of a winning formula that they can pass this on to for the next, for next season, and they can actually kind of, what I'm saying, maneuver off of that. But for North Carolina Central, you know what you're doing. You're going to the Celebration Bowl, regardless of what anybody say. You're going to the Celebration Bowl. That was your only job. That was your only mission, was to win the MEAC and go to Celebration Bowl. So, hats off to them. Congratulations to both schools. So now, uh, last but not least, last but not least, who is Jackson State playing next Saturday?
But
Who is
here's
Jackson
the
State
deal,
going to play
though.
next Saturday?
But here's the deal. Who wants to play Jackson State? You know, does Southern really want to play
I
Jackson
don't think
State?
anybody wants to play.
Yeah, because PV obviously didn't want to. Southern, not Southern, Texas Southern obviously didn't want to. Teams that had their destiny. That's all you want. You don't want to depend on nobody else. But teams that had their destiny right there
It's true.
couldn't do the job. Now
That's true.
will be 3 for 3 in teams that fail to have their destiny in their hand with Southern, going into Grambling and playing the Bayou Classic and not and not winning, or will they come out and try to revenge, beat Grambling and try to revenge the beatdown they got against Jackson State? That's the question.
I'm gonna say it like this: as far as for a financial standpoint, for Southern to come back to Jackson for the SWAC championship game, that will be money. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
That will be money in the city. All right. Now it's back to you had one job. But now Prairie View coming to Jackson for the SWAC championship game. It does benefit the city, but it won't benefit the city like
Southern.
when Southern comes to town. Because Prairie View does not travel like that. And I'm telling y'all, don't get me wrong, they'll go to certain places. there, if it's further than going to like all like say Baton Rouge, they'll probably stop right there. You know what I'm saying? But anything further than that, they don't travel. They don't travel. If anybody in the chat, tell me if I'm lying. Prairie View does not travel. They do not travel to certain games. They only get up. These are the three games, like I said, these are the three games that Prairie View gets up for. Labor Day Classic, State Fair Classic, Homecoming. Labor Day Classic, why? Because it's only a 50-mile drive. Either Texas Southern had to take it to Prairie View or Prairie View had to take it to Houston. That's it. 50 miles. State Fair Classic, because it's in Dallas and it's during the State Fair.
Yeah, and half of them leave
You're
by
gonna get a
halftime.
big draw from that game. Huh?
And half of them leave by halftime.
They have them leave by halftime because they don't know what's going on. But then you have, because it's a classic, you have a lot of stuff going on there. But I meant to say that you got a lot of stuff going on there. They be trying to get ready to go to the parties and stuff. And then Homecoming. Why? Because everybody named Mama goes back down to the hill for a homecoming. That's it. You don't get up for nothing else. That's all the three games they get up for. You win, you better get up for this damn SWAC championship game. Because why? You have to be competitive against Jackson State. And if you're not competitive against this school, then it's going to be a long day for for those Panthers. Yeah, man, they had winning season. They still don't show up, like, because. And I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'm gonna tell you this, D-Lock. The reason why Prairie View they don't stay for the games because you still have some older people. You know what I'm saying? You still have that older generation that still believes that Prairie View is going to lose every game of the year, every game of the season, every game in the season. It's going to be those people. It's going to be those people that lived it through the late 80s, into the turn of the 90s, that they say, well, we know we're going to lose this game. We know we're going to lose this game. We know. Hold on, AP. Yep. And then it turned it at AP. It turned it to almost 45,000 inside of the stadium once the game started. After those 20,000 folks, probably about another 10,000 came into the game, and the other 10,000 was still out there in the parking lot. Yeah, it's that 90s mindset. The mindset of Prairie View, the older people of Prairie View will be like this. They always say, we're not going to win the game because that's what they was used to. When you're not used to winning for 10 years, you went 0-80. And let's take it. I'm gonna take it back. Like I said, I'm gonna take it back. 1 year you didn't even field the team. You damn near scrapped the whole athletic program in 1990. But why? Because they were still on the financial aid from the students. They were still the financial aid from the athletes, student athletes. So they didn't bring the football team back until 91. And then when you brought it back in 91, you brought it back down there as a club team. They didn't have scholarships. And when you don't have scholarships, you don't have the depth. You don't have the enough players to have. And basically, that was it. That was it. That's how you lose 80 games in a row. Yeah, you ain't lying. They had an entire party in the parking lot where shoot fireworks to the parking lot every time JSU scored it. And after the game, yeah, I believe so. I believe it. I believe it, AP. Like, like I feel like this when Prairie View won, when Prairie View won the when they won SWAC in 2009, a lot of people still couldn't believe that they was that good. What's going on, y'all? I'm gonna cut Piggies and sight, but my whole thing is it's the older generation. It's the older generation that lived through that. I ain't talking about me. I'm 43 years old. I'm talking about the ones that's like in the mid 50s right now because that's all they saw. Well, hell, everybody po folks, man. Shoot. uh, does anyone know any recruiters? What you got, clean music? What you got? Damn. What school? Tell me what school? What school? What state? What's his GPA? But
And
yeah,
hasn't
man.
put a film out.
Oh yeah, and does he have film? If he got film, I'll tell him go to Coach O. On Twitter. Hit him up on hit Coach O on Twitter. Golden High School in Colorado, GPA 3.6. I say go to Coach O. It's all who's looking for a quarterback. If you have look on the ticker, and my Twitter handle is right there. It's the capital letter HBCU _ overdrive. Hit me up on Twitter. But my whole thing about this is like we all know whoever wins on Saturday, one or two schools are playing Jackson State. And we already know that it's done. It's over and done for them. That's it.
But you see, the one thing about it, whoever plays them has no pressure whatsoever.
They have no pressure. No
And
pressure whatsoever.
when you're playing with fool's gold, sometimes it becomes a shining stone. And the thing is, Jackson State defense is, you know, you could score 15 points, JSU, and they're going to still win because their defense is going to hold you to 10 or less. And that's just the bottom line. Uh, JSU. I watched from last year. I was watching some film, and okay, the offensive line was just putrid. They were terrible. You know what I mean? They couldn't hold wind, and poor Shador was running around for his life. But and he still had a great season as a true freshman. This year he's and so coach, what he did, he
This
understood
year
what
he
he
regrets. He started off fire and then he kind of regressed towards the end.
But not only he regressed, I think the play calling has regressed. I think also not having that real red zone threat like a Malachi Wideman really hurts Shador because Dallas Daniels the last couple of games hasn't played well. He hasn't played well.
Dallas
He's made some.
Daniels is more of a slot receiver than him being a flanker or
Dallas Daniels to me is
Dallas Daniels is more of a slot receiver than
100%. And they got to go, but I watch a lot of their patterns as far as their routes. and a lot of they're doing a lot of deep routes, deep routes. You can't do deep routes when your quarterback is, it's got a lot of pressure, and Shador's got to let the ball go. You know what I mean? Quick read, boom, boom, and hit him. Boom, boom, hit your man. Boom, boom, hit your man. When he was using screenplays, they're not doing screenplays. They're not, you know what I mean? They're not hitting the tight ends. Utilize it. They use a lot more than last year, but they're not using this more. Hooks has dropped a lot of balls. You know what I mean? And Shador, like even though they
Mhm.
had 5 sacks, um, last game against Alcorn, I say 3 of those sacks were Shador's fault. It was cover sacks also by the. You got to give Alcorn their defense credit. The secondary, there were some cover sacks. So if
Oh
it's not
yeah.
there, just throw the ball away. You can't try to be like Spinnerella,
Yep.
and especially down within your 5. That's what happened against South Carolina last year. He tried boom, boom, fumble. You know what I mean? So you can't do that. Shador's too good of a player to let that happen. He's got to help his offensive line and the court and Bartoloni. You know what I mean? What was that? Did you tell me about the reverse call? Did you like that reverse call near the end? That was crazy. That
Yeah,
was
AP. I'm old enough to remember that too, man. Look,
you know.
I'm old enough to remember that too. Um, but I'm gonna give you this, y'all. I'm gonna say this, and I'm just kind of a little bit wrap it up a little bit. Um, kudos to Alcorn. Now, kudos to Alcorn, especially that defense. I got on Twitter. I don't know if it was Sunday or if it was Monday, and I seen just scrolling in, and I seen Claudine Charles, number number
44.
32 for 32 for Alcorn. Brian, I gave that boy his flowers right there, bro. I gave him his flowers right there. I said, man, for your final game, bro, you had one hell of a game on Saturday. And then number 44, I couldn't find him. I was trying to say, hey, give 44 my give him his flowers too. Cause they both played one hell of a game on Saturday on the defense. Um I had to give him his flowers. Had to give him his flowers. I don't do that for and it's crazy because I've been doing this for since as far as alive, I've been doing this like since August, September, you know what I'm saying? August, September. I had never gave a player from a losing team any type of props. But I gave that boy his props Saturday. I gave his
Well,
props for
you
Saturday.
recognize
I
real. You
cannot lie.
recognize real. You recognize real. That's what's going on.
Hey,
But the thing is, again, how come we're
I
not using?
recognize it.
How come we're not using 3 tight end sets sometimes? You know what I mean? Where you're going to have that tight end chip that defensive the defensive end chip, and one can go out, one can stay in. You don't always need to, you know what I mean? It's great to have 4 wide, 5 wide, you know what I mean, when it's working and do it. But when you got a running back like Savion, when you have uh, tight ends that can catch the ball, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
change it up. It's been very for air raid quote unquote type of offense. It has been very vanilla of late.
Okay. Um. Yeah. I like I said, I had to give him his props. I had to give him his props. I couldn't do anything else. But um like I said, congratulations on being 11-0 for the first time in
Yeah,
school history. Um, never has
yeah.
done
Let's
that.
not overlook that. That's for sure.
That we're not overlooking that. I don't think anybody, only like I said, WC Gordon, one of Jackson State's all-time greatest coaches, has not had a team like this. But you know what I'm saying. Even Big John Merritt, when he was coaching Jackson State, didn't have a team like that. Like they didn't. Um, just got to get ready for that SWAC championship game. Who we gonna play? We don't know. If it's Southern, hey, tell them come on back up I-55. We'll treat them good, and we'll give them that L once more. I don't think we give them goose egg, but we'll give them that L once more. If it's Prairie View, tell them come from the H-Town. Hey, we beat y'all last season in the championship game. It ain't like we're gonna beat y'all again this season, okay? but we got 2 games this week. Actually, we got three games this week because you got the Bayou Classic, Grambling versus Southern. Grambling wins. Southern is eliminated from the Western Division. Prairie View goes to Jackson. Southern wins. Prairie View gets eliminated. Southern goes to Jackson. Yep, they do got hell of assistant coaches too. I give them up to that. Turkey Day Classic. Alabama State, Arkansas Pine Bluff. Woo! Arkansas Pine Bluff. All you got to do is just win, stop the bleeding, just go out on the bang, win the game. That's all you have to do. Alabama State, win the game, have a winning season. Best season you'll have in some years. Go into the off season, figure out what you're gonna do with your quarterbacks, your quarterback situation. Pine Bluff, find your coach before early signing period come around, or you'll find it before the actual national signing day come up. You gotta have them before then. And then the last game is Wingate versus Benedict College. In the second round of the playoffs for the D2 national championship. I'll give my predictions on Friday. Like I said, I'm not doing nothing on Thursday. I'm gonna be eating turkey, eating good, watch football. That's it. I don't know if I do something tomorrow. I might do something tomorrow because I'm gonna go into the hold on, rumors.
I was gonna touch on that a little bit today.
Yeah, I ain't want to touch on that today. I'm gonna touch on it tomorrow. Since after I got off work tomorrow, I got enough time, so we're gonna touch on that tomorrow. So y'all make sure y'all tune in tomorrow. Like I said, I really don't do a show on Wednesday, but we'll talk about that on Wednesday, man. Other than that, I make sure shout out to everybody that they have a happy and joyous Thanksgiving. Eat all the food and have all the fun. Watch all the games. Watch all the games, and you know what I'm saying. Make sure y'all come back and tune in on Friday because we're gonna do preview show for the week. No, do y'all love Friday coming this weekend? It'll be for next Friday, for the SWAC championship game. So that'll be the I love Friday for next Friday. Other than that, shout out to my guy Brian coming all the way in from Canada, and
I just want to
co-host with me as usual. And to my executive producer, my wife, Miss Holiday, Lady Holiday. Make sure she gets well. And to everybody that was everybody's on the show. I mean, that was watching the show. That's been watching the show tonight. Man, I give it to y'all. I'm proud of y'all, and I mean that's about it. Anything you got going on, Brian?
Yeah, I'm well. be on tomorrow with you. We'll discuss about the prime, the continuous rumor mill. But I just want to wish all my American friends and family down in the States a happy Thanksgiving, because here in Canada, our Thanksgiving was a couple of weeks ago. So I just want everybody to be safe, prosperous, and understand the blessings that you have and the blessing that you are, and to continue. The main thing is, let's be safe, and hopefully, like Coach Prime always preaches, no foolishness. Enjoy family and friends and a good time, and eat well.
All right. So y'all already know how I do. And my guy Brian right there. Uh, I'm your boy Doc Holiday. This is another HBCU Overdrive Tuesday night review brought to you by me. I ain't got no sponsors right now. I don't have
But if
no
you want to
sponsors.
sponsor the HBC Overdrive, hit Doc up, because it's a show that's growing and it's growing and it's growing and it's growing. Doc covers all HBCU, not only football. He covers it all. So subscribe, follow, and hit him up, and be the first to be a sponsor.
Yep. All right, Brian. I'll let you later, man.
Holla at your brother.
But yep. Hey, Son of Boom, just go back. Just go back and replay it. You'll like you like this show for tonight. But in the meantime, between time, this is HBCU Overdrive Live, where all HBCUs matter. I'm your boy Doc Holiday. Remember, be safe, be blessed, and stay dangerous. Peace.